Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Mysterious Podcast. I hope you all are well. Today's story is an true based haunted story. Someone experienced entity. I hope you like a story. Story 1. I was the 10th grade when this happened to me and I will never forget it. I was in class and needed to use the restroom, so I asked for permission from my teacher and went downstairs and meet to my friend to enter class 1st floor to the. When I walked in, as I was passing the stalls, I caught out of the corner of my eye a black shape about the same size as myself. I was terrified. I stopped and go to stay on behind wall, went to look back and there was nothing there. I left immediately. A week or so later I went with my class to study. I had to go to the bathroom, so I went into the first stall while everyone else went on to lunch. I could see on the floor in the stall next to me a pair of tennis sandals and jeans. I thought it was my buddy, so I reached out with "I want to be kidding my buddy," so I kicked to buddy lagood at his foot, just messing around. I kept reaching but could never get to the foot, and never see anyone. I looked back under once more to find nothing there, and I had been in the bathroom by myself the whole time. Soon after having these experiences I started seeing more and more. But not just at school, at home too. I live with my father and little cousin and toe sister. We had been in the house for a few months and I started hearing someone guy discussion some topic and seeing both man black shadows images floating in and out of the bedrooms, but always disappearing at the doorways. Then one night I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep when all of a sudden I felt like something hold to my mouth. I can't talk any moments was laying on me and I couldn't breathe. My father came in and tried to help me, she with me, and gave me some water too. Whatever it was left me alone for the night, but seeing the shadows me man and discussion to anther man voice continued. We had to move in with my relative. I swear this thing or things moved right along with me. I'm still seeing the shadowy figures and hearing things. Story 2. Nothing particularly scary but very interesting all the same. My first meet was when 10 years old I went to travel to tourism. Every summer with my parents, and once when I saw a monk stood at the altar. At the time I didn't realize what I was seeing, and they guy seeing to me and open eyes so angry, and I wore did they monk stood his face so and white and darkies black hole look like, and he get cloth dark jacket and black paint nad he head to cap look like cowboy, your eyelids wide with your fingers to ensure you're not dreaming or something. I know I didn't imagine it and it was as clear as day. I let the moment pass without saying anything but remember it to this day. The side to road I saw the monk. I remember always feeling scared when I had to go to Trevally ANSC to any road in there, and I would run fast through it, or do what I needed to do and get out quick smart. I wondered if this was just down to being young and not wanting to be, but when I go back now I feel the same and quiver all over. It was and still is a modern town built in the 20th century, road signals and homes and stuff very nice, that would create these feelings. Think I will do a little research on its location. Second times were at hostel me. I lived with a girl and 2 lads. The girl had a uncle that was a medium. I was studying design and had a large drawing board in my room. I would be drawing away and turn to do something or go make a drink, and when I turned back, my pencils, ruler etc. would be missing. I would look on the floor to find if it had fell and nothing would be there. I never felt scared and would just say out loud, "I am going downstairs, when I return I want them back." I would do this and sure enough they would be back as is it never been anywhere. My housemate, the boy, said that I once awoke to a man shadow in stairs in her bedroom. I believe I said I wasn't scared, just could see him there. Third times were many instances when I worked for an architect's practice in the Peak District. Our offices were haunted by a similar shadow to the one in my uni house. He used to walk up and down the spiral staircase in the middle of the office. It was 100 old house. We would hear his footsteps and see him from the corner of our eyes. Also he would take drawing equipment etc. We never felt threatened, just aware of him. I walked downstairs to find the receptionist talking to herself. I said to her, "Who are you talking to?" And she said, "I thought you were just around the corner," and had been for 10 minutes or so as she saw me come downstairs. My childhood bedroom. I could hear the soft clicking of her nails on the linoleum kitchen floor. My parents always told me it was the result of an overactive imagination. Of course. That was the explanation they offered me when I was age 16 and still slept every night with the covers over my head. It wasn't just that made me afraid in their house, it was everything else. Little noises and sounds. For as long as I could remember, I would wake up because someone would say my name right in my ear. So loud it would jolt me from sleep. Was I dreaming? As I grew older, it became easier to write these things off as silly childhood fears, and for several years I made do with just that. When I turned 22, I moved into a new apartment with my boyfriend and soon began to experience that same feeling again. I couldn't explain it quite right. It just felt empty and wrong. After years of feeling secure, the feeling had returned. Often nights I would spend laying on my back in bed, watching as someone's shadow moved to all room and whole home around precariously back and forth in front of the bedroom door. Eventually I began waking up to the feeling of fingers poking and prodding into my legs, sometimes I feeling hold to my legs worry hardly, and breath in my ear. One night I was sitting on my bed talking to her, my Sandy. She is my best friend, we are alive together. That APRT meant friend, and we both heard the word hello come from a male voice in the living room. There was nobody there. Upon investigation, my dog Maggie began to act very strangely and out of character. October. One night I sat on the couch, home alone. I heard the unmistakable sound of someone sitting down in my office chair. That days I was work from home, the slow squeak of it rocking back and forth. Both of my cats were on the couch with me, so I knew that neither one of them could be the culprit. I was many paranormal experience that APRT meant so tires to so many incident different. Finally I think decided to leave that place, now to leave to apartment. I finally moved out of that apartment. I hated it, the way that it felt. I moved into a new apartment that feels a lot better, but strange things still happen. Doors have begun closing on a day when no windows are open. Not even closing, but slamming shut as I walk by them. One night I woke up and I could swear I saw a little boy standing at the foot of my bed. This boy in short and crying at looking to me. Say please help me. One morning my boyfriend reported that the night before he'd woken up and he thought I was kneeling at the foot of our bed, but when he turned to look at where the empty space should be, I was laying there sleeping. One evening, watching television with my friend Nova, we had quite the scare. We were watching some show and for no obvious reason Nova stood up from the couch and walked over to the door and stood there. She simply stood there, sea to wall, and continued watching TV. 2 seconds later a loud bang echoed from the wall right by where she had just been sitting. To this day she can't remember why she stood up and walked across the room. Thank you for the listing. Friends, how did you like the story? I liked it. Please like it and share or subscribe the channel. Stay tuned to our channel to hear more such stories. Thank you very much for listening to the story.